What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? It's your boy Goblin, and today we're coming in with the substance review for acid. Hope you guys do enjoy this video. Drop a like if you do. And also, I want to make it clear real quick that in all of my substance review videos, this one included, I'm not trying to encourage anyone to do these drugs or try these things. I'm just trying to inform people and educate them. So either way, hope you guys enjoy. Let's dive into it. So, the acid review. Now, this is a review that has been pretty highly requested, and I think a lot of you guys who have been around my channel for a little while probably have a general idea of how this review is going to turn out. But first, I want to go over the pros. So, first and foremost, very, very spiritual experience, I guess you could say. Like, you really kind of, when you're tripping, acid has the potential to change the way you think about things after you sober up. It really is, alongside a lot of other psychedelics, it has the capability of doing that. Not only that, it's also very versatile. That's another really big pro of it. It can be used as a party drug or at a concert, and it can also be used if you want to, pop a tab in alone time and just think about shit and just be on your own. It's something that can really go both ways, and that's a huge, huge advantage of taking acid. It can really benefit you in a lot of ways. And another big pro of it, of course, is super easy to conceal and consume as well. This is a category that I think I'm going to talk about in all my reviews. Acid is probably one of the easiest drugs to store. All you have to make sure is it doesn't get overheated. So, you could just put it in some tin foil, and as long as it's at room temperature even, you'll be okay if it's not there for a super long time. But it's just incredibly easy to store and, sneak and hide around places and do whatever the hell you got to do with it. And another large benefit of acid is it always creates a very memorable experience. Not even almost all of my acid trips that I've ever had, I remember very thoroughly, and pretty much all of them very fondly. If you're taking real acid and you take an appropriate dose, you can have an amazing experience that will stick with you for a long time, if not the rest of your life. It like I said earlier, is really just a memorable and potentially life-changing drug. It is something that is just really unlike any other substance that I think I can review on this channel. Even other psychedelics, the psychedelics are also, significantly different in comparison to one another, and acid is personally my favorite, so I do have a little bit of bias towards this. So, in terms of the pros, that's really all I could chalk up. Just the fact that it can really be a positive and life-changing experience. You're always going to have a memorable time, whether it be good or bad. Typically, it can be good, but it can be bad for some. And it's just super easy to conceal and consume, etc., etc. Now we're going to go to the cons. And, it hurt me to write some of these, but I have to be unbiased when I write these cons. And first and foremost, let's get it out of the way. The length of the trip can be a huge con for some people. When you're tripping for 10 to 12 hours, it really can get tiresome and kind of tedious towards the end of the trip. I've had quite a few experiences where as I'm coming down or, starting to get towards the end of my trip, I'm just sitting there like, damn, I really kind of don't want to be tripping anymore. I just want to go to sleep and hang out, but I have to just sit there and ride it out. And that can be a huge negative. It's super duper time consuming, as well as you can't really function normally when you're tripping. I know some people who are like, oh bro, I'm a psychedelic guru. I could pop a couple tabs and be good. And sure, maybe you can act normal at a restaurant or something, semi-normal, but you can't really function properly. Nobody can on acid. It's not really feasible. You can function and you can function well, but not 100% effectively. And that's another big con of it. And combined with the time that your trip lasts, it really does kind of require a huge time commitment. You got to do this on a weekend or a day off. You can't be doing this on school nights and shit. It really is something that you do infrequently. Another con of it as well is that it can be bad for some people. I know quite a few people who have had bad trips, and if you're not prepared going into it, and even if you are prepared, there's always a chance that you're going to have a bad trip, and something can cause that, because when you're tripping, you're super duper emotionally vulnerable, I almost want to say. things, very small actions or occurrences can really affect your mood significantly. Whereas if you were sober, it wouldn't be that way. For example, if let's say I'm talking to someone and I feel like they're not listening to me. When I'm sober, it's like, whatever, I'll just stop talking. When I'm tripping, it's like that really upsets me. That then I overthink it. I'm thinking really hard on it, and it can just, cause a kind of spiral of bad thoughts that leads to a bad trip. And that is kind of another con that I'm going to tie it into. You do have to, I don't want to say be experienced, because you can't be experienced if you're doing it for the first time, but you have to be super duper ready for something like acid. It's something like, I've heard people say like, oh bro, I smoke a lot of weed, I pop a lot of Xans, I can take acid. No, that's not like relatively in the same ballpark. You really truly have to be mentally ready. And not only that, you have to want to genuinely have a psychedelic experience. You can't just be like, yeah, I want to pop a tab and beat my dick, because you're going to have a really shitty trip because of how long it is and you have nothing planned. You have to really think it out and be ready to have that experience, and be mentally prepared to potentially handle a bad trip if that does come up. So that's really all I had on the cons for this drug. I mean, overall, acid is, as many of you guys probably know, one of my favorite substances. It's really phenomenal. It's done great things for me, and I have made incredible memories on it, but I don't encourage any of you guys to try it. But with that being said, I'm going to have to say, oh, actually, you know what? There's one more pro I forgot to mention. It's not really addictive at all. I mean, I don't know anyone who's addicted to acid. I don't know. It's just not addictive in any way. I mean, maybe you could become very, very slightly mentally dependent on it, but that's very rare. I've never heard of that. I don't even know if that's possible, but either way, that's another big pro of it. But either way, overall score, I'm going to have to give it a 7.8 out of 10. And I know y'all are going to be in the comments, Goblin, this is one of your favorites. What the fuck, man? But I have to give an unbiased score. I have to give a score to the average consumer, not someone like me. So 7.8, just because a lot of the cons are very significant. They're kind of a big deal. So either way, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Drop a like if you did. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.